She said, "I can't have children." The cowboy smiled. "Good. I've got enough kids for both." She said it quietly, like a confession she'd practiced 100 times but still hated saying out loud. "I can't have children." The words hung between them in the late afternoon air, heavy as the dust drifting across the ranch road. Clara expected the usual reaction, awkward silence, pity in the eyes, or worse, polite rejection dressed up as kindness. She'd seen it before. Men who smiled at first, then slowly backed away when they realized she couldn't give them the one thing they thought defined a woman's worth. She braced herself, fingers clenched inside her worn coat, heart already aching. But the cowboy across from her didn't flinch. He didn't look away. Instead, he smiled, not the polite kind, not the forced kind, but a slow, genuine smile that creased the lines around his weathered eyes. "Good," he said simply. Clara blinked, certain she'd misheard. Before she could respond, he added, "I've got enough kids for both." His name was Jack Rowan, and he was known across 3 counties as the man who took in broken things, injured horses, abandoned dogs, and, after a brutal accident took his wife, for children who'd lost their mother too soon. Jack wasn't looking for perfection. He wasn't looking for a woman to complete his life. His life was already overflowing, with muddy boots by the door, loud laughter at dinner, and grief that still visited him late at night. What he needed was someone who wouldn't run from the chaos, someone who understood loss and still chose love. Clara had come to the ranch looking for work, not hope. She was 32, worn down by years of disappointment, carrying the quiet shame doctors had handed her in sterile rooms. Infertile. As if she were a field that would never grow anything again. She expected the world to see her that way too. Jack's response cracked something open inside her, something she'd buried deep to survive. The children watched her from the porch, 2 boys, 2 girls, curious, guarded, and clearly protective of their father. They'd learned not to trust easily. Clara felt it immediately, the weight of being an outsider. Still, she smiled at them, knelt to their level, and asked their names. No pressure. No forced affection. Just respect. Jack noticed that. That night, Clara lay awake in the small room Jack offered her, listening to the wind brush against the house and the distant sound of coyotes. She wondered if this was another place she'd have to leave, another almost. But deep down, something felt different. For the first time in years, her inability to have children didn't feel like a curse. It felt irrelevant. Over the next weeks, she worked hard, cooking, cleaning, helping on the ranch, never trying to replace anyone. She didn't step into the role of mother. She simply showed up. She listened when the youngest cried at night. She helped with homework. She laughed when things went wrong. Slowly, the children softened. Trust grew in small moments, shared jokes, quiet conversations, hands reaching for hers without fear. Jack watched it all with a mix of gratitude and awe. Clara didn't fix his family. She joined it. And in doing so, she healed parts of herself she thought were forever broken. The first time one of the kids called her Mom, it wasn't planned. It slipped out during a moment of fear, when a storm rolled in fast and the youngest clung to Clara's leg, crying. Clara froze, heart pounding, afraid she'd crossed some invisible line. But Jack heard it from across the room, and instead of correcting the child, he simply nodded, as if the universe had just confirmed something he already knew. Clara cried that night, not from sadness, but from release. She realized motherhood wasn't something biology had denied her. It was something life had been preparing her for in a different way. These children didn't need her to give birth to them. They needed her to choose them. And she did, every single day. The town talked, of course. They always did. Some whispered that she was lucky to land a man with land and a family. Others said Jack was settling. But none of them saw the late-night talks, the shared burdens, the way Clara stood beside Jack when the memories of his late wife weighed him down. None of them saw how love grew, not from perfection, but from patience. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky in gold, Jack took Clara's hand. "I never needed someone to give me more kids," he said softly. "I needed someone who'd love the ones I already had, and still choose me." Clara smiled through tears. For the first time in her life, she felt chosen not in spite of her truth, but because of it. They didn't build a fairy tale life. They built a real one, messy, loud, and full of grace. Clara learned that family isn't always born, sometimes it's found. And Jack learned that love doesn't come to fill empty spaces, it comes to stand strong beside what already exists. Sometimes, the thing you think disqualifies you is the very thing that leads you home. If this story touched your heart, remember, your worth isn't defined by what you lack, but by the love you choose to give. Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories of hope, healing, and second chances. Backhand index pointing right. Like and share this video to remind someone today that family is more than blood, it's love.